Okay, I've tried to make this video several times now because I feel like it's important to say it right. Democracy cannot exist without free speech. Free speech is the lifeblood, the spirit of a democracy. And when that's under attack, you have no greater motivation to stand up, to be disobedient, to use freedom of speech with more fullness and purpose than ever before. Don't take it for granted. Let me lay out what exactly the First Amendment says, word for word, so we all know and are clear on our right. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or protecting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to peaceably assemble, and the freedom to petition the government. So, free speech is free speech. It's absolute. It means you may express yourself freely. You can speak freely under protection of the law. There are no arbitrary parameters. There are no banned subjects, no unapproved opinions. Being offended does not matter. Even if you are a critic of the dear leader, that is protected under the law. You have to be able to openly and honestly discuss things in a democracy in order to come to a consensus on things like what are the good policies, what are the bad policies, what kind of ideologies do we want to endorse in our culture, what kind of ideologies are bad for our culture, what kind of leaders do we want, what kind of leaders do we not want. We have to be able to talk about that. Otherwise, we don't get a choice if it's taken away. The moment speech is regulated, the moment a regime promulgates their authority to decide which speech is protected and which is not, that is the moment that freedom itself is under full assault. Because the goal then is to control the thoughts and the minds of the people, to control the information that they have. Any books you might read, anything you see on TV, hear on the radio, it's all been pre-approved by the administration. It's under complete control. You have no freedom of thought anymore. So if all speech is not protected, all speech, then no speech is protected, because as soon as the protection is not absolutely protected, indiscriminate, all-inclusive, concrete, it falls to the arbitrary day-to-day whims and feels of the dear leader what's okay to think and say that day. And when people aren't towing the line, when the leader starts telling you to report on your neighbors that they aren't saying the right thing, they might not be thinking the right thing, they might not be totally loyal to the regime, well then we've entered 1984. We're in Stalinist Russia all of a sudden. And people start disappearing. They start getting fired from their jobs. This isn't hyperbolic. This is not a maybe one day thing. This isn't, oh, this could happen to us. This is actually happening. This is right now. This is in full force. Now is the time more than ever to hold on to the right, to not take it for granted, to use it to its full effect. This is what it was for. Don't give it away. Don't give it an inch. Uh, Free speech is an irrevocable ability that we have. It's another wonderful property of our divinely gifted free will. It's in our DNA to be able to speak and think. All that results from the illegalization of our DNA, our nature, is our suffering, our collapse, our insanity, paranoia, fear. Our free speech is paramount to the maintenance of any system or structure, from a marriage to a government. To outlaw the truth is to defy reality, and that it's a foolish thing for a government to do that because it dooms their chances of stability and survival, and it dooms the nation. To outlaw speech is to outlaw people, which, of course, tyrannies would do that. Of course they do. They always do. But they destabilize their government and their nation like nothing else would, and they've given their people no greater motivation to rebel because they've repressed their very minds, and that doesn't work forever. The more that a government interferes in people's lives, the more regulations they impose, the more freedoms they erode, the more unrest and discontent that they sow in the hearts and minds of the public. The best government is hardly known to the people, and I don't mean some shadowy deep state corporate billionaires that buy everything and rule everyone, buy up policies. I'm talking about a small government that trusts their people enough to not regulate, not interfere, to not impose in their hearts and minds, to not live in their homes. People are content when they are trusted and free to be themselves. People are more likely to trust when they are trusted. Culture thrives when expression is unrepressed and debate is an open forum, and creatives are free to be creative. Let doctors be doctors. Let artists be artists. Let scientists be scientists. Let teachers teach. In democracies, people have always had to fight for their rights, to keep them, to further them. I mean, it's thanks to free speech we were able to move forward with civil rights movements and establish workers' unions. People were able to protest because people had to always fight. People had to fight for these things because positions of power have always drawn those people with questionable morals, or people were corrupted when they attained power. So it's always been a fight. But right now is one of those moments, and we need to stand together. We need to see that there are hate campaigns funded by billionaires, as conspiracy theorist as it seems. It's not. They divide and conquer. It's a classic authoritarian playbook, and it was warned against. United we stand. That's why we are called the United States. We must come back together. We have to lift the veil. We have to see that we are more alike than we are different, and our differences are completely superficial, completely fabricated. They were inundated in us by media, propaganda media. It's not real. We must always ally ourselves with the truth and never comply. Not once. Don't give up before you even started. Don't give an inch. because the fight to once again be able to express yourself freely, the fight to be you after you've capitulated, becomes exponentially more difficult. It's like dealing with a schoolyard bully. If you give him your lunch money once, you'll have to give it to him every single day until you lay down, until you really fight, until you say no, not happening. Don't give in, even once. Don't let being yourself be horribly controversial. Let us together encourage a society of truth and self-discovery, a society in which we are safely free to be ourselves. So often we trade we trade freedom for safety, but in an environment like this, without free speech, that is not safe. All it is fear and paranoia, and if you're not thinking and saying the right thing on the same day, you're disappeared. You're fired. You're potentially killed or exiled. You're just gone without a trace and no one knows where you went. That is not hyperbolic, an exaggeration, a joke, or that is what happens in cultures like these. The argument for getting rid of free speech is it's often to control hate speech and then to eliminate political violence. But I'm telling you, that is not what happens. It's not what will happen. In truth, free speech is taken away to eliminate the criticism of the dear leader and all of his policies. And what will happen is people will still have their individual thoughts and feelings because, as I said before, that is a gift of free will. It can't be taken away. It can be repressed. People can be brainwashed, but it doesn't really work forever. And there's always the doubt. There's the resentment that grows. It's not real. And what will happen is the repression of said thoughts and feelings will serve only to stoke fires of resentment and rebellion in the people. Tyrants are fundamentally stupid and fearful. If they were not, they would know from history that people have shown rulers time and time again that we do not like to be controlled. Even parents know that. They tell their teenager to do something. What does the teenager go and do? They do it. And if a tyrant knew that, they would embrace it. Good governments serve. That of the people, for the people, by the people. Bad governments leech. The worst governments dominate. Never surrender your free speech for anyone, for anything, at any time. You can be kind, you can be courteous, you can have tact, but if someone is telling you, toe the line, have the right opinions, comply with the dear leader, be loyal, never surrender your free speech. Always value truth, because truth always prevails. Truth will set you free.